So the Buccaneers will play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and it should be a very interesting game. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the Chiefs offense will attack the Bucs defense, and also how the Bucs defense will attack the Chiefs offense. I will also be making another video sort of talking about the flip side. That should be out later today. But yeah, anyways, let's just get into it. The first time these two teams played, really, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense lit up the scoreboard in terms of the box score. Mahomes had 642 yards. Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards in just the first quarter, along with 3 touchdowns, but they only scored 27 points. So let's talk about how they were able to be so successful early on and how Tampa Bay was able to make adjustments later on. So first, a lot of what Tyreek Hill's success was early on was a play like this. It wasn't all this. Hill did some other good stuff as well, but a lot of it was this. It's a cover one play, man coverage. Hill is playing one-on-one against Carlton Davis, which is just a mistake for Tampa Bay. Davis, he's a good corner, but he's not necessarily the fastest corner. He's good at not giving up separation, but you can beat him with speed, and unfortunately for Davis, Tyreek Hill, that guy's pretty fast. Watch how once Mahomes takes the snap, you do see that Hill is able to just run by Davis. Davis tried to press him at the line, wasn't able to get much going, and if you're playing press coverage against Hill and you don't slow him down at the line, you're just not going to win that matchup. Mahomes makes a perfect throw because he's, Mahomes, that's what he does, and then Hill is able to make a good move and get into the end zone for a touchdown, does a little backflip too, which is fun. Really good play from him, and that just kind of shows what you're up against if you're Tampa Bay. This next play is probably an even better example of that, I think, where it's going to be a very similar play. It's again a cover one man play, it's a cover one blitz, and you see that Hill is running a go route against Davis. Davis is in press coverage, so once again, this is an ideal situation for Kansas City. And once this play starts, watch how, again, no press coverage. Davis just bails right out of there. But that's an issue because now you see, since it's a go route, Davis is so concerned about the speed that he can't even turn towards the ball, because if he tries to look back and see if a ball is getting thrown, unless he does it at the exact right time, then he's going to just let himself get burnt and Hill will be wide open in the end zone. Davis has no choice but to turn his back, which is advantage offense and advantage Tyreek Hill. And even more so when Davis is kind of a corner who his hands might be his best asset. He has great ball skills, but you can't have great ball skills if you can't look at the ball. So Mahomes makes this throw, and it is an impressive catch from Hill, no doubt about it. But I think part of why that catch was so impressive was because Davis couldn't look at the ball, and that's set up from Hill's speed. And so that's kind of what Hill can do. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, if not the best receiver. He's up there. So that's what you're going up against. And I think that the clear example for Tampa Bay is just don't leave him on an island like that. Don't do that to Carlton Davis. You're going to need help. But I also want to show this play because I think this will kind of show that Tampa Bay, I just don't think they were totally ready for Kansas City, and I also don't blame them because I just think Kansas City is a different animal, where this is the cover 3 zone. It's Hill and Davis are going to be the two guys to watch once again. Davis is the corner in charge of covering deep to Mahomes' right, which is the top left-hand corner of the screen, the one where you see Hill's route eventually gets into. And I mean, watch. You're going to see Mahomes takes a snap, runs a little play action, nothing too fancy there, and you see that Hill starts to fake as though he's running an out, and that's going to force Carlton Davis to run a little bit further in. And honestly, this isn't bad coverage by Davis. Run a little bit in, be aware of the out, but still put yourself in position where if it is a go, you can still stay deep. Davis does that, but against Kansas City, you kind of can't because Mahomes just throws the ball 60 yards down the field. That's barely an exaggeration. It was about 58 yards down the field, and that resulted in a touchdown. And that's just not something any other quarterback can do. And, if Mahomes didn't have the arm, Davis would have been fine. He sort of knows around where he can play aggressive and where he can't. It's a little different against Kansas City because they're just that dominant. And so for Kansas City, if you see opportunities to take advantage of this in the Super Bowl, take advantage of it every time. You should have audible set for Tyreek Hill to go deep if you see that it looks like he's on an island with Davis, because that could be a huge matchup you could exploit. Although you have to think Tampa Bay isn't going to put Davis in that situation as much as they did the first time these two teams played. So let's take this from Tampa Bay's perspective first because, Kansas City kind of just plays their game. For Tampa Bay, what do you do to counteract it? What do you do to prevent what happened the first time? One thing is zone coverage and play a cover 2 zone. This is something that people talk about with the Chiefs. Hey, play cover 2 a lot, and we'll get more into that in a second. But, you know, zone coverage can work. Right here, Mahomes wants to make a quick throw, and, you know, this is the kind of thing for Tampa Bay. Usually, their zone coverage isn't necessarily their specialty, but if you can keep things in front of you, you can run up and make tackles, get some third downs, and hope for a mistake from Kansas City. Like, watch, Mahomes is going to make this quick throw, and you have a quick tackle, they only gain 2 yards, right? So that's a good play for Tampa Bay. The issue is that you just can't play too much zone against Kansas City because they're really good against that as well. We'll now take a look at this one, and I just think that it kind of goes to show this offense is just unfair, where what's happening on this play is it's going to be a zone coverage play. It's cover 3 zone, and you're just going to run a quick play action and then have a receiver run over the middle in a way where it could get into a gap in coverage, and that receiver is Tyreek Hill, so very good in open space if he can make the play. And Kansas City, they're a team that doesn't run the ball too much. They do run play action a bunch, so for Tampa Bay, you have to say, don't get fooled too much on that, but that's easier said than done. Like, watch, once this play starts, immediately, Mahomes is throwing the ball the second he gets off the fake handoff, and there's a clear gap for Tyreek Hill. It's just that quick, that easy for Kansas City. That's who you're going up against. On top of this, now you have Hill in open space, who picks up some more yards, and I swear, it's like watching grown men try to, grab a dog that's loose or something, trying to see people tackle Hill. I mean, he's so elusive in open space like that. It's incredible. And Kansas City can also just run designed zone busters. Like, that's also a thing they can do. Like, this is zone coverage, and it's only a 3-man rush. Every now and then, Tampa Bay will drop into a 3-man rush. Bowles isn't just, he's known for blitzing, but he will also do the 3-man rush every now and then. And for Kansas City, they have a concept designed to beat zone coverage, but obviously it's usually better when you only have 7 guys in coverage as opposed to 8, which Tampa Bay has now. The way it typically works is you have Hill run deep, he pushes the deep defensive back further deep, and then Kelsey goes underneath that, but pretty far deep as well. The issue, of course, is that Tampa Bay has the extra defender, so that gap that's usually pretty big is going to be smaller. But once this play starts, 2 issues. One is that the Tampa Bay player who I have, he's currently in the flat at about the 45-yard line. He's a defensive end. He's used to rushing the passer, so bit out of his element here. You also have another Kansas City player underneath, so he kind of, he's actually not playing this one poorly. He's playing this one pretty good, but I'm just throwing that in there. The reality is Kelsey is open. He's not wide open, but he is open. And when players get open for the Chiefs, Mahomes hits them. I don't care if they're not wide open. He doesn't need incredibly high percentage plays because he can make medium percentage plays a high percent of the time. As you see, just a beautiful throw from Mahomes. Kelsey even fakes lateral and makes the right decision not to. And so, I mean, again, it's unfair that they have Tyreek Hill, who's impossible to play man against, and Travis Kelsey, who's impossible to play zone against. I'm going to show this play now, because there is one saving grace for this Tampa Bay defense. It's a lot of bad, mostly just because of who you're going up against. The Bucs defense isn't bad. It's just the Chiefs offense is that good. But there is one area where I would be concerned if I'm a Chiefs fan, and that'll be shown on this play. So the way this play works is it's a cover 2 zone, and to have a concept that's designed to beat cover 2. You have 3 receivers run deep. Unless someone realizes this and stays deep with one of those receivers, you're going to end up with a numbers advantage deep, and you could probably, Kansas City gets touchdowns this way. They really do. But watch Sue right there, right in the middle. He's going to actually be double teamed right here between a center and right guard, but it's not going to matter on this play. As you see, Sue is going to create some immediate pressure, and Mahomes, he tries to flip it, and that's one of the frustrating things about Mahomes is he's a tough guy to bring down. He ends up getting an incomplete pass out of it, but still, you'll take incomplete passes all day long for Tampa Bay, and if you can sort of create that pressure and disrupt things, you're taking out a huge element of this Chiefs offense, which is that downfield passing, which I also think could be key in this game against Tampa Bay's corners, who have been prone to give up plays deep. And given that it's looking like, I think there's a very good chance that Kansas City will be without 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen, including both tackles, and Tampa Bay has Vita Vea back, who played well in the championship round. He'll probably get more snaps in the Super Bowl. That's easily the biggest mismatch going in Tampa Bay's favor. Let's show this play. I'm not 100% sure exactly who will be the starting 5 offensive linemen, because Eric Fisher went out late in the game against the Bills, and Andrew Wiley, I believe it's Wiley, he's the one who was actually at right guard. He moved to right tackle, so that's interesting. I'm not sure if they're going to do that the whole season, or whole game, I mean, but they might do that for a bit, and then Mike Remmers went from right tackle to left tackle. But I wanted to show this play because we actually had Wiley going up against Jason Pierre-Paul. Pierre-Paul lined up as a defensive tackle on this one, and so kind of interesting that that happened to work out that way, and even more interesting because of how well it's going to work for Tampa Bay. As you see, you're going to see Pierre-Paul wins this matchup immediately, and Sue did a good job of rallying. Also, Levante David came in there just to not allow Mahomes to totally be able to run wherever he wants. So, good job there. But at the same time, that was just a good job by Jason Pierre-Paul, and that's the concern for Kansas City. The one way teams have been able to have success against Patrick Mahomes over his career is getting pressure with 4. And I know that sometimes sounds like a kind of a lazy take, but it's very true with Mahomes. It's more true of some players than it is with others, and it might be the most true right now in today's NFL than Mahomes. There's really no other way to stop him other than getting pressure with 4. And now I want to show this play because I do believe that Mahomes is someone who will make a mistake or two a game. He'll give you a couple, and if you can force him into mistakes, that's good. You have to take advantage of them, though. So this play, it's quarters coverage. You have a deep route towards the sideline, so not really great against this type of coverage. Also, you notice the 2 defensive linemen who are to Mahomes' left, I put on the screen, they're going to be doing a twist right here. So that's a defensive line technique that could get some pressure. And watch, Mahomes takes the snap. You're going to see Jason Pierre-Paul gets this immediate pressure, and Mahomes should not make this throw right here. I'm not really sure why he decides to. If you want to try and bullet it in and try to, throw one towards the sideline, and maybe that's what he was doing because he is going to get hit as he was thrown, but this is kind of a baffling decision, and this is one that you have to take advantage of if you're Tampa Bay. Watch, Mahomes makes this throw, and it does get intercepted. Got called back, though, because Pierre-Paul hit Mahomes' helmet. It was right after Mahomes made the throw, so I don't think it actually impacted the play itself, but it kind of goes to show that, if you don't hit Mahomes' helmet, that would have been an interception there, perhaps a different game, and so that's what you have to really make sure you do if you're, that was a 3rd down and 17 as well, so that was a key play, and you want to be able to get the ball back in certain situations if you're Tampa Bay. And so if pressure can force Mahomes to make some dumb decisions, well, that would obviously be a great news for the Bucs. And listen, he's not going to make that many bad decisions, but neither quarterback is. So if he makes 2 and Brady makes 1, well, if Tampa Bay can take advantage of both, that'll give them an advantage. One issue with this sort of line of thinking, though, about the Bucs being able to get pressure is Mahomes is so good at getting around to pressure. Even if the offensive line isn't great, he can find ways to make things work. And this play, I think, is a great example of something that I think Tampa Bay maybe just shouldn't do. It's something they like where they're going to have an edge rusher drop back into coverage, then they have a linebacker, Devin White, rush the passer. So you're kind of losing personnel in a sense because, obviously you'd rather have the linebacker in coverage and a edge rusher rushing, but because of the element of surprise, that's where the advantage can come in. But one of the issues with this play is that there's kind of containment getting given up towards the top of the screen. So watch how Mahomes notices this immediately and starts running up towards that top of the screen because he knows he's going to have more time there. There's 3 Tampa Bay players rushing the passer to his right, only 1 to his left, so go to your left. And you even see that there's a halfback who's running over, and he's going to kind of block on that edge as well. So that's just giving Mahomes more time. And if Mahomes has a ton of time, I don't care what defense you have in the secondary, it's not going to work. Someone's going to get open. And as you see, that is eventually what happens. So I honestly think for Tampa Bay, don't get creative. Bowles loves to get creative. I think don't. Play simple, rush 4. You can get a bit creative in the secondary, but in terms of just have your best 4 rushers rush the passer and hope for the best. This is what I mean by really not getting creative, but just this is the play that if the Bucs are going to win, it's going to be because of this play. This is going to be a cover 2 man play, so nothing too fancy. But this is going to be, I'll call it a double-double, because you're going to have 2 double teams here. Both safeties are doubling Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, respectively. So what do? Obviously, if Tyreek Hill is running a short route, well, then you let Carlton Davis take care of that, he can take care of that. He's good enough at those kind of things. If you see Hill is going deep, then you cover Hill deep. That's what you want to do. And you have the same thing with Travis Kelce. Usually you'll be a bit more aggressive with Kelce since he's better at getting open. That makes sense, right? You sort of force Patrick Mahomes to throw to these other guys. And that's not to say that these other guys are bad by any means. They're really good, and that's still an advantage to Kansas City, which is part of the issue for Tampa Bay. I mean, Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting have absolutely been playing well so far this postseason, but, Kansas City has Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle, even Demarcus Robinson. They have guys, so it can be a tough situation, but it's still the best situation for the Bucs. Watch what happens here, too. Once Tyreek Hill, he's going to go in motion to Mahomes' right, and kind of what you're thinking there is, okay, we have two guys in that section. Maybe we can get one of them with a one-on-one matchup. The other safety will stay to Mahomes' left, which is the bottom of the screen. But instead, you see both safeties, they're still just doing their job. They're still going to be a part of this double team right here, which means one-on-one matchups to Mahomes' left. And when Mahomes takes the snap, he makes the correct read, gets one over there, and just isn't quite able to hit it. And, that's one that I think that Sammy Watkins and Patrick Mahomes make a good amount of the time against Ross Cockrell. He was the defensive back there. But I just think for Tampa Bay, you let those guys beat you, which is, it's not going to stop the Chiefs. The Chiefs are still going to put up points, but I think it'll have them put up less. Another thing will be shown on a play like this, where this is actually going to be a cover 2 play. I know at first it looks like there's only one safety deep, but another safety is going to drop back. So one safety is deep right now. They're showing one safety. It will be a cover 2, though. But I think the interesting thing is Hill's running a route that's going to get in a gap in coverage to Mahomes' left, and then you're going to have the safety try to come in and try and, make it not quite as open. That's what you hope there. It's probably going to get open. And the safety who is back is Antoine Winfield, who's really good at closing. So if he's just in the area, he can have a chance. But watch. For one thing, Hill just gets there so quickly that, Winfield is still trying to get over. But just look at how far deep Winfield is. Winfield's at the 50, whereas Hill is currently at the 35, which is kind of understandable, right? Because you don't want to get burned deep by Hill. But I actually think that, and this could come back to bite you. I don't know. It's an interesting situation, but I think you could argue that he should play a lot more aggressive. And if Mahomes ends up having enough time to throw it deep, make a perfect throw, and Hill makes the grab, that could happen. But is that better or worse than if you're able to get a couple of stops here by playing a bit more aggressive? Either way, you can't be 15 yards further deep and about 15 yards further towards the inside of the field, because this is just going to be an easy throw for Mahomes to make. Watch. Winfield tries to come in and make the play, but Hill is able to get both feet in bounds. And that's kind of my point, is you want to be closer than that. You can't be too close because then you get burned deep, but there is definitely a healthy balance, and I do think that the safeties were a bit too cautious in this one, which is understandable, but, it's tough. I mean, let's be honest, there's no way to stop this Chiefs team. There's only ways to hope that you get some stops here and there because their offense is insane. But I do think there are pathways to slow down Kansas City, get some stops here and there. I think that's really the key. So I think this is going to be a bit of a higher possession game. I'll say 12 possessions because I don't think the Chiefs are really going to run the ball that much. I didn't really talk about that too much, but I think with Tampa Bay's run defense, I think don't even worry about the running game too much. Try and throw the ball, which I think they will. I meant to mention that earlier. So I'll say 12 possessions, and I'll say Kansas City scores 30, which is a good day, but I also think that Tampa Bay will get a few stops, which is why it's not like this, they're not going to score 40. They're not going to score 50. I don't think they could. I mean, that's definitely possible. It seems likely, though, that 30 feels about right. So that's what I think, and I will tell you how much I think the Bucs will score and will they win in my next video. So check that one out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.